Hi there, and this is Julie, and I'm coming back again with a story about my children. And again, hopefully the teeth won't be such the big thing as it always is. But I always start off by telling people that the teeth was not a cause of bad dental care, just lack of money to get the dental care that I needed, nor was it caused by methadone and stuff. I wouldn't say medications or certain drugs couldn't do this, not even being an opiate or an addiction type medication. Any meds can do this to your teeth. So take care of your teeth, basically, is what I'm saying. So on with my story. And it's very embarrassing hard to do this with what this is all about, but I have to get this out there. Anywho, it starts off with the last video I had, and they are getting mixed up because they're on two or three different YouTubes, and I try to connect them all together so you're able to find them. If you look under civil rights, and Judge Carlin was right because we do not have civil rights, we have civil privileges, most likely you'll start connecting up with all the videos, and the stories will start to connect. And basically, they run like this. I started off to say that I had a situation with a bad childhood, which later led on to some stomach issues and anxiety. And about 10 years after suffering through quite a long, lengthy time with that, I decided to get on meds that my doctor had prescribed me. And for that, I had grown a dependency on them. And then when I started to have the dependency, less and less doctors were given to me. And then when those doctors sadly stopped giving to me, I had to look for them for a short period of time on my own. And then I hooked up again legally with a doctor and got back on the road of recovery. Unfortunately, it left me in a funk. And when DHS came into my house, in Child Protective Services, I was pregnant with my sixth baby, well, after I had my sixth baby, and I was trying to describe to them what the funk was all about, and I couldn't even describe it because I didn't even know what it was. I just knew it wasn't bipolar. I knew the feelings were just beyond feelings I've ever had before. I didn't have this all my life. It hit me, it wouldn't go away, and that was it. And I did blame maybe taking some medication that caused it, and maybe killing some brain cells. Who knows? Just like people blame drinking killing brain cells. So I took it like that, thinking these people would have some basis of understanding this, and they blew it out of proportion. And because of this, I lost my family. I had court-appointed attorneys. I've had guardian litem. I had all those so-called help, and they're not help. They're help. They do not have it in your best interest to get your children back unless they're really rotten and they really don't find that these kids have any other reasons to give them money and have anything in it, because it's all self-interest. It's a job for them, and that's what it is. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a job for them to push a pencil around and wear their little dykey businesses. For some of the women now, they can't seem to realize a girl can still wear a skirt and still be a lady and still have some guts to herself. I just had to put that out there. I had the guts to start putting myself out on the internet with pictures because I knew eventually I was going to have the teeth out, and it would be time before I would have the teeth in again. Those signs does matter right now. That's why they're not in fast enough. And I just wanted to put it out there that when this all happened, for the first 9 months, my sister had my children when DHS came in. And I really thought I could work on myself. That's what they said. They basically were like, Julie, do you think they're in good enough care? My basic answer was yes, as much as I kind of hum and hum, because I saw my baby who was almost like 2, and she was digging her face, and she was stressed, and it was stressing me out. And then I had another daughter who had just found out she was a couple of months pregnant, so I'm trying to help her. So I'm really winging it, and it's just not being wrong. Bases were being covered, but not to the completeness. I couldn't find a place to live. My level is under 620, so I couldn't find a place to find. There's a lot of new immigrants that have came in here, and I'm sorry if people get offended by this, but it has taken a lot of the low-income housing, and sadly, this is where I stand when it comes to trying to find housing for myself and for my children. So I no longer even had that to rely on. I had just burnt through everything, and next thing you know, they start putting them in foster care because my sister no longer could handle it. So when my sister no longer, sorry about that, so when my sister no longer could handle this, I had my two sons put in foster care, and they were put not in the best foster care. Put it this way: one was very abusive, who had to do with the law, and the other couple didn't care if he had a bed or not. There was one that was kind of good, but the rest, because he was in 6 or 7 of them, the rest he was sharing beds with little kids. Didn't even have a cot or even a sleeping bag. He saw things he shouldn't see. Put it this way: he didn't eat cable that night. That's for sure, because these people are disgusted. And when we brought this to light to these people that supposedly have Guardian Lighthouse and the lawyers and all those nice court-appointed people to protect your children, they made nothing of it. They looked at us like we were high and dismissed us off, dismissed everything off we were saying, and it was getting more destructive. So then I thought, well, let's just concentrate on just getting them boys back, and then we can go after them about this afterwards. But it wasn't getting to those points. Every mark that I was trying to make, those marks weren't being hit, because they would do something else to make me have to get off a step. So I would get confused, and next thing you know, despite doing all kinds of good paperwork, showing up, pretty much finding myself, except when I had really bad severe teeth ache, finding myself with clean urines. And when I did have urines, I always had an excuse that I had permission to use something because I would have teeth out. And I just had my own hair tested because they weren't doing it themselves. So I even professionally had my own hair tested. They didn't find nothing there. These were just the bizarreness of the whole thing that I would have to go through. And meanwhile, I was homeless, and my kids were now being placed into these pre-adopted, my two daughters, because they thought she's not going to get this fast enough. And every time I asked a worker if they would help me find a place, none of them had time to spare. They would give other people rides to look for apartments, but never me. And Maine was pretty cold the last few years. We've had some pretty rotten winters, and pushing an old lady's cart with all my belongings in it, which I never thought would be me, and trying to keep your stuff all together and having just one outfit, from having 3 storages full of stuff to down to one old lady's cart, because that's what I call them, one of those little tin carts. It was degrading, but yet I still pushed it through those rotten storms. I pushed it. I have videos of me pushing it, so I would remind myself. I had sores and stuff from walking in the heat. I had what they called the homeless tan kind of starting on my face. Luckily, I knew enough to get out of the sun because I didn't want to look quite that dark and burnt and charcoal before my time. Like I said, I had friends, but they were going through their own stuff. I just recently lost one of my best friends of 40 years, just less than 48 hours ago. So for me to be able to do this video, I don't know how I'm doing it, but my guy just had woken me up, and now I'm all like, and it's not because of drugs, it's because he kind of stirred up a few things in me, and it bothers me because America doesn't know what Child Protective Services really do. The person that really knew what Child Protective Services do usually end up getting paid off or dead or somehow mysteriously disappear. And the few that do tell their tales are still not being heard because the government, I don't think, seems to know what else they could do for another type of job to clear this up. It's almost like they like this type of system because they have to like it enough because it keeps them in a suit and it keeps them in a home and it keeps the rest of us looking like miserable human beings. And I just can't have that. I can't look like a miserable human being. I work way too hard in myself to look like a bad person. I did quite a bit long before I had children. I still continue to do this, and this is something that I want to make sure that America knows this about myself. This is why I decided to rip the teeth out, so I wouldn't have infections. When I saw my friend in a coma for almost 5 weeks before she came out, and she came out for a couple of months before she just passed away, I just thought she got too old before her time. She was less than a year older than me, and I just said, oh my God, I don't want that to happen to me. I love her. I still do, and she's not here no more. I'm not a real religious person. I have this kind of spirited way about myself, but if she is here, I hope her character, just like my parents, can keep me. I don't have my parents neither. I have siblings, but they don't believe in me as much as I want them to because they have their own lives. I hope whatever could be collected out there can come to me in the best forms. If I had to learn a lesson a hard way, I will take that on, but I would like to see a good outcome come with this. And the only good outcome I can see coming out this is that we need to get together and somehow form groups that will change this system because America is being broken up, and I don't think a lot of people believe in this, but if they're taking a lot of the soldiers that are usually born into middle-class to low-income families. Those are the ones that usually go to war, not the high-class citizens. Those are the ones that get their parents to get them to be able to stay home for the most part. Those are the ones that end up having their sons and daughters go to war because their lots of choices are a little more slimmer, and they find that this is about what they can do. I've seen it in my own personal family, and it does them good in the long run, but it's just sad because it's almost like money bought the rest of these people out so that they didn't protect the world. So who can give credit for people that act like they have money, but they didn't take 1 ounce of their being to try to protect the world by joining the service or doing any part to be willing to participate in anything to help America be an America, and this is what I think I'm doing in my part, is to remind people that we're having these children, we are to be responsible for them, and when we ask for help, let's ask for the sincerity of the help, and ask and hope that these people on the receiving end of that are hired to help you, supposedly, such as judges, counselors, court-appointed attorneys, lawyers, guardian lighthouse, etc., are actually doing their jobs. And from what I read and read, they have not done their jobs. They're in it for their self-interest, their self-worth, and that is it. And that's scary because that makes me feel like I don't live in America. I feel like I live in I guess you'd call it a communist world. We are controlled by what other people say that you could do. When we try to exercise our rights, we got threatened to go to court. Now we have to go to court because we wouldn't allow people to come into the home, and now these people are threatening, already have threatened us with a court twice because we wouldn't let them in the home. They said they wanted to look for the safety of children, but they really wanted to seek out to see if there was any more things they could put damages us on, like look for pill bottles or something out of displace, just to throw it up there to make us look bad. I mean, they really think we're stupid. First time around, we didn't think of these things because we weren't pointed out these other things these people look for. We were just told to be careful. That was it. That was the training we got through the court-appointed lawyers, the ones that get paid, and they do still get paid pretty well considering what they're doing, which is very little. So I find that very amazing that these people really wanted to see, some really good families broken up just because they thought, well, geez, they don't seem smart enough, or they're not as connected, because we were trying to still keep our privacy private, but at the same time, I was more open than I should have been in some areas versus than others. And now I'm in paying the price for it. And as I'm ending this, I'm going to end it with one thing. I want to see what people out there in America would do if this was going on with them. Please leave a post down below. If this is going on with you, where do you think my rights as myself goes and my children goes, along with my guy of 24 years, and we share all 6 children. They're all ours. There's no secret babies. We've been together 24 years, almost, with 6 children. I like to know what people are thinking, really, about the circumstances that we're in right now, where we really trusted these people to help us, and instead of help, we got hell. And our 2 girls were fostered out because they felt the father was too ill. He could take care of 2 boys, but he couldn't take care of 4 kids, which was stupid, because there's people that are sick, that have cancer, that are on pot, that take pot in front of their kids, and they can do all that, and they get their children. Yeah, I'm being honest, and I get my family taken away. This is not good, America. This is not fair. And this is where I'm going with this. And I will keep going with this, and I'll keep getting stronger with my words, and I hope to God that people will listen to this more. And please, please post something underneath here that could help in regards to what I'm saying, because anything you write, even if it's not so great, at least can give me some guidelines of things maybe I'm not thinking of. So, thank you.